Yes, we got it. There we go. That got done the second try. Boom. That is a stage 70 one-shot by my Venom with an Obelisk. And we got 15 CCF. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex, and today we are making our final Venom video before we destroy his Obelisk. We are going to be kitting him with a CTP of Rage because I think Venom is actually really good, and I'm happy enough to play with such a classic character that I want to push him sort of to the limit. I want to push him all the way. And I've been a bit more picky lately about things like tier 3 and characters and stuff like that, because going free to play, boycotting, etc. has really, put a microscope on my resources. So I've been bringing you guys content with Venom with this crit damage 200 proc. That's how he got that level, or that stage 70 one shot with Nick Fury and Coulson support. And it's a pretty straightforward one shot once you get the hang of it. It's co-op, immediately cancel into 2, and then cancel 2 into 4, and then as soon as he jumps down, cancel 4 into 5. If you don't proc on any of those hits before the 5th skill, the one-shot will work pretty much every single time. It's beautiful, and it does a ton of damage, and maybe he'll be able to go further than stage 70 once I give him a CTP of Rage. And I think a CTP of Energy can work on him too as well, so he actually has a lot of options. But yeah, the build is pretty much the same as we spoke about, or as we talked about last time. We've got dodge, attack, ignore defense, dodge, and attack there. And then he's got the crit damage 200 proc. And then he's got the mostly 4-5 star Uru. Actually, never mind. That's 6-star physical attack. It's really hard for me to see up close unless I bring the game really close to me because the screen's so small. And then we've got the 2 Odin's Blessings. And we've got crit rate on his Asgardian Axe. And then this is the loadout for him. So that's what he can do. But that's what he's capable of doing with just an Obelisk rather than a CTP. But that's not all. We're going to do more testing with him with an Obelisk, and we're also going to do a comparison. So this is the really nice thing here. We're going to do a comparison between my tier 3 Venom and my tier 2 Absolute Carnage. Now you might be saying to yourself, wow, that's not really fair. Tier 2 versus tier 3? Well, let's take a look at Carnage's build really quickly. He also has a mythic uniform. I went all out with the tickets and stuff like I told you guys. He's also got the exact same thing here. Dodge, attack, ignore defense, dodge, attack. It's pretty funny. And then here he's got attack speed. He doesn't need the crit rate because unlike Venom, he gives himself, what is it? He gives himself a huge 35% crit rate for 12 seconds. So his soft cap is only 40%, which he's already at. He's already capped out on crit damage, ignore defense. He has much less Uru because he honestly just doesn't need it. It's much easier to cap Carnage's stats than it is to cap Venom stats. And he also has the guaranteed crit rate there. So he's actually got a lot going for him stat-wise. And then he does bump up his crit damage by an additional, he's a 30% chance to increase it by additional 100%, which means that his crit damage can go up to 300% sometimes when he crits. Sometimes, 1/3 of the time. And then we've got a double crit damage 180 proc. This is why I'm able to cap his skills or his stats so easily. 180 proc there. We have overdrive on his ISO 8 set. I would actually prefer for it to be Power of Angry Hulk, but that's okay. And then yeah, so we're gonna take him into some gameplay. He does have more physical attack. He's got 5 and 6-star, or no, he's got all 6-star. He's got all 6-star Uru, but he doesn't have any Odin's Blessings. But yeah, he's pretty much has the same stat caps as Venom. He's just missing the tier 3 stat bump, and of course the gear is not 25, it's 20. But he's capped. He's capped on crit damage, ignore defense. He's capped on crit rate with the buff. The attack speed is kind of low. The cooldown is 0.5% under capped. And then his physical attack is 30,000 versus Venom's physical attack, which is 41,000. So that's pretty much the difference there. But that's it. I mean, the dodge and stuff, I could give him dodge, I guess, but he doesn't need the crit damage, so there's really no point there to doing that. And the test that we're going to be doing here is pretty straightforward. We're going to go to stage 100 of Shadowland. That's right, stage 100. I intentionally played today before the weekly reset. I used up all of my characters except for these 4 cats right here. So we're going to do a little test. I'm not going to kill them all, although Venom and Carnage probably want to do that. We're just going to see how long it takes them to kill Bucky and Hawkeye. That's the test. Okay, and we're going to do a couple runs each here. We're going to use Beast, who gives 50% physical attack and 10% crit damage. And then he's also got a small, like 6% guaranteed crit rate passive buff for Venom. And then Carnage has got the 70% all attack and the 20% damage reduction, damage received reduced from Miles, and Miles also strikes for Carnage. So if Miles comes out, he will do a ton of burst damage for Carnage. But as you'll see, I don't think Carnage needs the help. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. So again, this is just a quick test here with the two of them with an Obelisk. Of course, Venom is at tier 3, whereas Carnage is at tier 2. But you'll be surprised with how well Carnage plays and how well he does here. So we're sort of stacking up, trying to get to our tier 3, although Winter Soldier is kind of far away. There we go. We pulled them both in, and with the tier 3, this pretty much spells defeat for them. So it takes until the tier 3 for Venom to kill them both. So it takes about 25 seconds. This is a pretty consistent 25-second clear. You can try to do it a little bit faster. We're going to run it one more time. You can try to do it a little bit faster if you drop the all defense down first, because Venom doesn't have all defense down on his 5th skill. He only has it on his 4th skill and maybe, I think, his 2nd skill. So that's one. Oh, I got stunned. So that's one. Okay, I died. That can actually happen. Okay. Yeah. Hawkeye has very long range, so he can hit you from far away and stun you, and it's just kind of annoying. I should probably just not switch to Venom until I get close. That makes way more sense, right? Yeah, true. But Carnage has all defense down on 3 skills, I believe. So it's a little bit easier. So we're going to go into 4, and then we procced early, but we get the all defense down, which I think might be more helpful. I'm not 100% sure here, because we're going to proc on 5 on this one. There we go. And then 2, and then we pop that one, and then we pop the tier 3. You know, this does seem a little bit faster. Yeah. So that took us about 20 seconds. And then it's going to be pretty fast to kill Ant-Man and Spider-Man there. So there we go. We got it down to 20 seconds. Okay. So Venom can do stage 100 of Shadowland, at least this stage, because every stage that you roll can have different boss bonus stats, so it might not be as easy. And of course, if you don't roll a stage that has a benefit or that has a bonus for combat type advantages, right, the battle tip, if you don't roll a combat advantage, he's going to take longer. But he can do stage 100 in under a minute with an Obelisk at tier 3. That is awesome. Really good value for a free-to-play tier 3 with a very free-to-play friendly build. My cards aren't free-to-play friendly, of course, because I have multiple premium cards with very nice rolls, but everything else is. And Beast Leadership is as well. No CTP, 2 Odin's Blessings. You can definitely make up for that. And then, of course, the uniform. Now let's see how Carnage does, and you will be surprised. So we're going to switch over to Carnage. We're going to pop the 5 here while we're trying to get them together, but that didn't work too well. We're going to do the 3 here and then into the 4, and check out how the damage actually starts to really go nuts. Look at that. Look at the damage from the accumulation in addition to the all defense down. They're dead. So this is almost identical. That's 26 seconds. That's almost identical to Venom, right? You're surprised, weren't you? When the damage on that second 5th skill hit, this is the combination of all defense down and accumulation. When you put those two things together, it's accumulation on damage dealt. If I can get them together, because for the first tier 3, I couldn't get them together. For the first 5th skill, I couldn't get it together, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, we actually missed our proc, but look at this damage. He does so much damage here. Oh, bye. They're gone. Gone. 14 seconds. Good night. How crazy is this? I know this is a Venom showcase, but I just want to highlight how high Carnage's raw damage is because, well, it's his raw damage with all defense down, but 50% all defense down, and the accumulation just skyrockets his damage. He's as fast, if not faster, and he's certainly faster than Venom because he's not using a tier 3 skill. So theoretically, if I were to keep playing this out, right, if I were to continue fighting Spider-Man and Ant-Man, on the next rotation, Carnage would get his tier 3, and then I could pop the tier 3 with Carnage and finish them off. Whereas Venom used his tier 3 to kill Hawkeye and Winter Soldier, meaning you then have to do another 2 rotations. So he would be 1 or 2 rotations slower than Carnage by default, because Venom needs the tier 3 to get the accumulation. So it's actually really interesting the way that they designed these two characters when you look at them side by side, because they have the same kit, right? 50% all defense down and accumulation and a self buff. But where they have those effects are different, right? He's got the self buff here on the 5th skill, and he's got the all defense down on 4, and I think maybe, yeah, he's got it on 2, but it's much less. And then he's got the accumulation on 6. So the damage for Venom doesn't really ramp up until you get to Vicious Hunt. Whereas with Carnage, he's got the self buff on 3, the same, it's actually a better self buff by 10%. And then he's got the all defense down and the accumulation here. So it's all here. And then he also has all defense down here. So he just stacks up tons of all defense down very, very quickly with multiple skills. And then the tier 3 would just be massive raw damage, right? It's got a little damage proc, it's got all these other effects, but you know, really it's just raw. At that point, it's raw damage. So it's just interesting how their sort of damage would play out. Carnage would have much higher damage at first, then Venom would pull ahead for the tier 3, and then I don't know what would happen once Carnage gets his tier 3 and pops it. And the thing is, I don't even have Carnage at tier 3, right? At tier 3, he's gonna get that stat bump, right? So he's gonna go from 8,000, you can see 8,100 physical attack, it's gonna jump up to 12,800. So I don't know where my 30,000 physical attack would go, how high that's gonna go. Is it gonna go to 40k? Is it gonna go to 45k? We can take a look at some other Carnages and get an idea of what their builds look like. Maybe not the number 1 Carnage, but you know, maybe we scroll down to, let's say, someone down here. Marvel Legacy, the Kingslayer 84. Congratulations. And we check out his Venom. He's got a CTP of Rage. He's got, yeah, 39,000 physical attack. So it's right around 40k. And he's got, you know, it's a reasonable build. It looks like something I would do, right? It's got some Odin's Blessings, but not a full stack of Odin's Blessings. And then if we take a look at his cards, they're actually a little bit worse than mine. So I would have a little bit more than 40k, but he's got a good build there. So yeah. Let me know what you guys think of Venom and Carnage in the comparison. Also, let me know what you think of Venom. I'm very, very impressed with him. I think he can do as high as stage 80 world boss with an Obelisk, which is fantastic. And then he also has the added benefit and the bonus ability of being able to one-shot stage 70. He can go way higher than stage 100 Shadowland, which is definitely something to consider because that's a very, very high benchmark. He can do GBR, etc. So yeah. Hit me up in the comments down below. Let me know what you guys think, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.